the CGI was on there, because it would have looked really different. So you're seeing it for the first time finished.
Let's call it how it is. He didn't want to show me while there was any time for there to be redone.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
That's what he did. But he didn't have to, because, you know, when you hire or have somebody as brilliant as Michael Gracie direct your biography, you better let him do it. If you hire Robbie Williams, you get Robbie Williams. Let me do Robbie Williams. Michael Gracie knows way more about scripts, about direction, about the points that need to be hit, you know, than I do, and I just let him do him. And yeah, this is. Has anybody seen it, by the way? And a few people. Yeah. It's a massive. In fact, not everybody had seen it, but only those people appreciated it.
No, we have to see it.
It's a massive, massive swing, ballsy. And you look. I just got out of his way, and thank God that I did.
But then you're in the theatre, you watch it for the first time, and I mean, I find it a very deeply emotional watch. I can't even I can't begin to imagine if that was my life and I'm suddenly watching the film of actually a very, very difficult story, and it's my life. How did you even cope? How did you process that?
Well, I think the one big aspect of being this kind of neurodivergent is that I don't pick up on the cues where normal people go, I better not share that, or I better not say that. Like, I'm good with social cues, I get them, it's just all of this other stuff. Because like I go, here are my hemorrhoids. And people go, maybe you should not show your hemorrhoids. And I go, why? I have hemorrhoids. You know, so I don't get it. You know, I don't, because people keep coming to me and they keep going, you're very brave. And I want to go, thanks, but I don't know which bit's the brave thing, because here are my hemorrhoids.
Okay, so something...
That's where I keep my hemorrhoids. See?
Something that you had said to me, though, was that you were worried about your dad.
Oh, yeah.
Because, you know, this is a telling of a version of a story through the eyes of a child and partly through what your mum had told you about your dad. And when we're kids, we think it's all about our self-worth if our parent does something weird. So that's the story. But there's so much more to your dad, and you were saying that to me, that you were worried about him because the film is a version of him.
I don't want him to see it because, you know, I've done so much work on myself. I've rehabbed, I've therapied. I've lived in Los Angeles for 24 years, and I'm very grateful that I've picked up on how to do all of this and heal yourself, and we Brits don't do that, but, you know. But my dad hasn't, and he hasn't needed to. And also, we haven't had this conversation. So this is so bizarre to have this film, and the main thing running through it is my relationship with my father that I haven't talked to my father about. And yeah, I don't want him to see it. Just because also, you know, Steve Pemberton, who plays my dad in this movie, does a brilliant job. He's tour de force. But also, you know, my dad in this movie is not very likable, and there's nobody that hasn't met my dad that hasn't fallen in love with him straight away, because he's just charming and a beautiful person and wonderful. Even my mum at one point fell in love with him. And this is funny, so don't be sad, but she's got dementia, right, my mum? Yeah, that's not the funny bit. But she the last thing she'll remember is how much she hates my dad. That's funny. You're allowed. Yeah.
What is the rest of your family say about it? Is there anyone else that you've shown it to that was challenging?
The rest of my family aren't in it. It's like me, my mum, my nan, and my dad, and that's how it starts. But I guess the cousins could have done more to be featured in my life when they should have featured themselves more in my life. It's not my fault that they're boring. I don't mean that, Cousin Jane, Cousin Bunty, Cousin Matthew. I don't mean that. You're very wonderful people, and you don't deserve to be thrown under the bus because you're all wonderful to me, and I love you.
Let's talk about John O'Davies, who plays you under the CGI, and he does an insanely impressive job. Did you get together with him, or did he work based on the tapes and all the footage that there is of you? How did you do that?
So Jono showed me footage of him doing karaoke way before this was even muted for him to play me, and he was playing me at karaoke and doing a really good job. And I think it turns out that he's a fan of mine and has been watching me for quite a while. So yeah, he has done an unbelievable job. And no, I didn't sit with him. You know, I didn't sit with him. The me that's on stage is very different than the me that's off stage. So I met him and you know, we palled about, but it wasn't a learning experience. What I do love is he has a much better arse than me, and it is because like I've got a long torso, and everybody thinks I'm really small, but I'm 6'1", and it's my legs that do it. And Jono's got really lovely legs and a lovely arse, so I'm very, very happy that this is how people will remember me.